Support for this podcast comes from the patrons at patreon.com/FMLFPL. Okay! Welcome to FML Babylon.
It's Walsh.
What's up, dude?
What's up, doggy? Odd time.
Beer's already cracked. You had a cheeky little week off.
Yeah, no. Had a little family vacation last week. It was really nice. We went down to San Diego.
Love it.
Went to the zoo and shit. First real trip with the lad.
Yeah, what did he think of the zoo? Was he excited?
Loved the zoo. Fucking
what's not to love?
Zoo.
Yeah,
this is incredible. It's a great place. Absolutely. We went twice. We went both in the morning for both days. We were there in the morning and then went home for a nap, and then we did different shit in the afternoon.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I definitely switched off. I know you did the Thursday, the My Life with Dare.
Yeah, Derek Patreon pod.
Short one.
Yeah, quick hour and a half with a Friday deadline. No big deal.
You were a free hit, so you have a lot of action. But let's go. So you had your free hit.
So I'm on 58 right now with triple Burnley left. I have me, Roberts, Veghorst not capped. Livermento 8 first on my bench will not get subbed in, which is a big bummer. I basically it was a successful free hit only because I capped Son. I think the majority of the top 10K, large majority, like 70% or something, capped in Woot. So they're shitting themselves because obviously, City didn't get it done attacking, Man United didn't get it done attacking, and those were Southampton, Broya, whatever, didn't get it done. So I think a lot of people are hurting right now on their free hit unless you captain Son or Kane, but I did. Yeah. So I got a green and I have 3 guys left. So not great, but still good.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're doing a good job with your team and with your season.
I regret, not going Kulusevski. I think he was in almost every tinker before the final.
Yeah.
I regret going double Burnley defense, but that game is still to be played tomorrow, but I don't expect it clean, but is what it is. The Mahrez sub, really, that was the most painful moment of the week.
Which you knew was coming.
Yeah, 13 minutes of Mahrez versus 8 points of Livermento. You hate to see.
Yeah, I think you, in general, maybe there were a couple of things that you could have gone back on and gotten a few extra points, but in general, I think you did the right things, and I definitely agreed with not captaining Veghorst, so and that could still not work. We don't know. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but it seems like you got a green. I mean, you got a green, you got points. You're doing good.
Doing good. The bigger question is what the fuck am I going to do after this week?
We have plenty of time for that.
That's why we're potting. What about you? You saved. Uncharacteristic save and a double.
I just didn't know what was... I wasn't paying attention. We left. I was just didn't really want to think about anything. I just didn't do it. I just didn't do anything. I captained Bruno. I have 44 points.
44.
I'm all done. No Burnley. I'm never going to have Burnley players. Yeah, I mean, Bruno should have had a brace. He had huge chances.
Bruno
I think that
destroyed you.
Yeah. Well, he does, as he will want to do. But I think that captain was fine. Looking back at it, they fell apart in the second half, but he had more than enough to have a haul in that game. Bruno did. He just was, shitting himself the whole game. You can't adjudicate for that. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
And that's FPL, baby.
That's FPL,
the Rodrigo. It's very sad. I mean, he came in with the goal right away, but it very quickly went downhill.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of a failed balls.
Well,
somewhat. I don't know. What do you expect?
I feel like if they score the week of the balls, then it's still the power of the balls remains. But yeah, Leeds are obviously fucking disastrous and sacked Bielsa and everything. So you can't really account for that. But yeah, I mean, Bruno, man, Derek had him capped too. A lot of people did. I think most people who didn't free hit probably had him capped, and he had 1.1 XG and 0.6 XA. Absolutely ridiculous numbers, and they nil-nilled.
Yeah, I mean, I watched my team disassemble Watford. The game before, I was like, well, this looks like a team that just they gave up a goal and then they gave up.
Yeah.
And I was just expecting them like on short rest, which they're not used to. Man United kind of like bouncing into the game after a pretty good result against at the Wanda.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, right? They had all those chances in the first 20, 30 minutes.
Right. You called it right.
It didn't happen. So, no, whatever. What are you going to do?
Yeah, it's just
should have Captain Foster, obviously.
You have a 3-point lead in the cup, but Kurt has Weghorst captained, so
I'm winning in my cup game.
You're winning as of right now, and if Weghorst
Kurt
gets you a cheeky 1-pointer, you win.
Yeah, I'll win for sure.
Let's go.
How bad is Kurt? Imagine losing to me in the cup
any
rough. Week.
That's rough.
Bad. That's really bad.
I'm down 5, but Dewitt has Pope me Weghorst. I have Roberts me Weghorst, so I'm fucked unless Roberts gets a goal or assist in bones. So I'm fucked, basically.
You're fucked.
Because that's not happening.
No.
As usual, no league updates in the middle of a game week. It may never happen again.
Ever?
Yeah, when do we
never
ever?
Give a league update.
Although there will be mug winners after tomorrow's match, so
allegedly.
Allegedly,
we're gonna have like 5 million things are gonna happen between then and now.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's go on. Where do you want to begin? There's a ton to talk about. There's double game week this week. There's all those teams. There's obviously all the matches. There's the Bielsa sacking. There's Chelsea back in the mix. There's also double game week next week.
Yeah.
What's calling out to you?
I think the Bielsa sacking is the most topical thing to just touch on for a few minutes.
It made me upset.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just sad. It was just
upsetting.
He brought so much excitement and fun to the Premier League for 1.5 seasons.
He's just so much enjoyment, in all of the things that he did. Just such a fucking weirdo.
Yes.
With his little, cushion bucket thingy he squats on, and bring his tea or the mate or whatever the fuck he drinks.
The translator he doesn't need because he actually speaks English.
The evolution, subject to our evolution every week. We're going to miss so much. It's so rare that there's a manager in the league. I mean, dude, that press conference he did a couple years ago with the spying and shit. It's so rare that there's a manager in the game that is just pure unadulterated enjoyment.
And not to mention the football.
Yeah. And
pure chaos.
We haven't even mentioned that. I mean, every game that you watch Leeds is
chaos, fun. Attack, fucking mental, everything, man marking, change everything. Finished 9th in their debut season, absolutely insane. But I mean, they're obviously a disaster. It's understandable. If you're an owner, I understand where they're coming from, even though, I know a lot of fans didn't want him sacked and whatnot, but he clearly is a psychopath who will under no circumstances change the way that they're going to play. And they just concede 1 billion goals, and you basically just can't do that and stay up. The current trajectory is get relegated. So
I mean, it's also, we touched on, right, is they're a shallow squad because they're not, a top 6 team.
Yeah.
And they've been missing 2 of their 2 best players for the whole season.
Easily best players, yeah.
For the whole season.
Rafinha, I guess, but
yeah, fine. But, 2 of their 3 best players.
Yeah, exactly.
If you do that to any squad from, place number 7 to 20, this is how they're going to play.
Yes, absolutely.
So I get it. Okay, well, maybe you should have been more compact and changed things to try and grind out 0-0s or 1-0. Whatever. I mean,
that's the part that probably got him sacked in the end, is the unwillingness to any change or adapt or anything like that. But yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, that personnel oddly goes underrated, I feel like people don't put enough stock in that. I listened to the double pivot today where they talked about Bielsa, and Kaylee said if you basically draw a line on December 5th, which is when Cooper and Phillips go down, up until that point, they conceded 1.5 XG per match, which is really bad, but they're so good at attacking that it's good. Since then, it's 2.
They want to be really bad.
Yeah, since then, it's 2.5 XG per game, which is just, you cannot do that and possibly stay in the Premier League. There's just no way.
They could, but we won't find out if they will.
Right.
With under Bielsa anyway.
Right.
So the other thing, too, with this is, I mean, the players are going to come back in the next few weeks. I mean, they're going to still miss a few games. I guess I think it's also, I just try, and when these things happen, like try to take a step back and just wonder more about like what's behind the scenes, because we know he has the rolling 1 years, right? He's just, that's how he operates.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was something behind the scenes of, downing tools or something like that, because I mean, I still would expect Bielsa, if he gets these players back and he gets to play 8 games with them, that they'll win 3 of them.
They'll win.
And that's probably enough, to stay up. I mean,
I agree.
So I wonder if it was also kind of like, well, maybe maybe Bielsa wasn't going to come back anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe it was a little bit more mutual than it was him fired.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. And I think based on what we know is that they've been talking to Marsh for like a year or more. And Bielsa basically didn't want to come back this season. I think he signed his contract like a few days before the season started. He signed a 1-year deal. So they were already planning for the future. And then you think, like, again, this is mostly just me lifting from Double Pivot Pod, but in his history, he's never stayed at a club this long. This tends to happen at every team he's ever managed, is like injury crisis, because he's a psycho and this is what he does to the player's body. Happens at every team. And, they run out of steam, they run out of whatever the fuck, and, eventually he has to leave, and it's usually mutual because he's a great manager and the team is in a good spot, but it's just kind of how it goes. So even though it feels bad because it's like a sacking after a nightmare, it's like, I think it's more like what you said. I think he also probably recognized, like, okay, I can't play my style, and for that reason, I'm out.
Yeah. And I mean, I think from an FPL standpoint, it's just stay away. Marsh is a very attacking manager, historically, but, this is a team with still a lot of injuries. They're going to continue to struggle. It just doesn't seem like it's a good situation that you want to really have any investment in whatsoever.
Yeah. But, I mean, that was the questions we got about it were GG Kale. He said, is Raf a wait and see? And then Dadlet said, how do you see Leeds with Marsh? Do you think Raf and Rodrigo will bounce? Raf cap, because they're one of the teams that double this week.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's just,
it's so insane.
Everything that I've heard and read about Marsh is, he's from, it's very much like a lineage, like a tree of the Red Bull style that Ragnick basically started, which we saw at Manchester United. It starts with a defensive press. I don't expect them to like be fluid and good at attacking, much like Manchester United right out the gate. So,
I mean, they're going to have to learn how to press in that way. But it is a similar style in terms of front foot, attack the ball quickly, win it back quickly. I mean, it's just kind of, I think it's just my layman's understanding is it's just in different like areas of the pitch that they're doing it in.
The way Goodman put it, which I thought was like, speak layman, transferable. He said the skills are transferable, but what you're supposed to be doing on the field is very, very different. Marsh turns matches into track meets because the defense is incredibly aggressive. Bielsa turns matches into track meets because the attack's incredibly aggressive. Okay.
Every time, I don't listen to that pod.
I know. Every
time you say something from them is like kind of somewhat reiterating.
You're like, should I listen?
I feel so smart.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're
I'm like, oh my god.
It's because they're like so smart, but you just don't like their voices and shit.
Yeah, I just can't hear. I can't hear them into my psyche. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Leeds, I still hope they stay up because I do think Marsh is a fun manager.
Yeah,
I think he would be a good manager to have in the Prem. I really hope they stay up, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Definitely. Okay. They're not in a good spot right now, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe Newcastle's another interesting one. They're on a fucking amazing run. They also have double this week, home Brighton at Southampton, double next week at Chelsea at Everton, and then like a mixed run. They're home Palace at Spurs, home Wolves, home Leicester at Norwich.
Sure. Yeah. What are you saying?
Yeah, Jono's question was, with Newcastle's double-double, is Fraser being overlooked? He's 5'3", looked lively against Brentford. He knows house system, or is it just a case of a bad team making a player look better? Baker, do we triple up on Newcastle or just get 2 in to be safe? So,
what the fuck?
Listen,
where am I?
They're fucking flying. Like I think they're 7 unbeaten or something, and they're playing really well.
Okay, all right.
Calm down. But yeah, I don't know. Like,
I think Willock is the biggest FPL pick to me on this team.
Completely agree. Me and Derek were there on Friday Night Live.
Okay, go ahead.
No, that's it. I mean, he's just streaky. He's doing the same shit that he did at the end of last season. Like,
he's
he
playing
looks
in the
good.
same role that he was doing at the end of
he's free. He's attacking. Looks good. He's countering. Like, on his goal, he was by far the furthest forward on the counter. Love that. He's cheap. So you start him in the double-double, then you don't have to start him going forward. Not that big a deal. I love that. The saddest, funniest one is just Wood, who just, Wilson's fucked for maybe the season for a very long time. So Wood's going to play, 360 minutes in the next 2 game weeks. I'm pretty sure of that. But he cannot score a goal. So I looked up just how underperforming XG players.
Is he even underperforming?
He's both the 18th most underperforming with Burnley and the 19th most underperforming with Newcastle. Because he just can't score. Like every shot is
what is his XG on the season?
It was really low. I don't remember, but I'll look it up while you're talking.
I feel like every game I've watched him all season, he just isn't doing anything.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember him like missing chances. I just feel like he doesn't get any.
Yeah, against Brentford he did. I mean, his XG is actually not that bad. For Burnley it was 0.3 per 90, and for Newcastle it's 0.26 per 90. So it's bad, but it's not like nothing. But yeah, he's just done. He just can't score.
He's done.
Just 3 goals in like 1900 minutes.
No, he's completely done. I feel like Newcastle is like a very, very interesting case right now because they're not doing what we like expected them to do with Howe at all. They did for a couple weeks when he was playing John Joe as the lone DM, and they were just
it was like John Joe Willock double pivot,
and it was just fucking non-functioning and insane with all the shit. But the injuries have helped him so much because he's had to play an actual like good defensive spine team. Ever since St. Max got hurt, and just playing Wood with Joelinton in the midfield, and just playing Willock in this role, and like Fraser and Shelby's he's playing more, just more midfielders, and they're just more compact, and they're harder to break down, and they're not creating a lot of chances. You watch them play, and it's a lot of like middle thirds of it, but and losing Trippier is obviously really shitty because he's so fun, and he's so fun. But I think it's Willock or a defender, but I also think they're a little bit wolf in sheep's clothing with these results because they shouldn't be doing this. You look at their team and it's not that good. It's just not. Yeah. And it's still like, burn targets. They're basically like kind of journeyman-y-ish kind of guys that are just being put in these positions, and it's just like a purple patch. I
and also Brentford were down to 10 men after 10 minutes.
Yeah,
so
Brentford's the worst team in the division by a lot over the last couple months.
Yeah, pretty much.
And, I feel like Newcastle could not win a game until April. I would be 0% surprised. They could win one more game the rest of the season. I would be 0% surprised. The team is still not very good.
Yeah.
But they're grinding shit out right now. I think from an FPL standpoint, you take a punt on Willock, I'm okay with that. The defense, I do feel like, they'll probably keep 1 in 4 cleans for the rest of the season, something like that.
Defensive numbers are good lately. Surprisingly, again, not what we expected at all with Howe, but they've been like pretty solid. They've had favorable fixtures, but solid. Yeah. But so I like a target punt maybe, like people are wildcarding a guy that you start for 2 game weeks, probably bench for the rest of the season. He's doing a lot of the creative stuff since Trips went down.
Like over like Wolves and shit. Because that's the thing we get into, right? Is when you compare these players.
After.
Sure, but I'm just saying in general, right? There are so many 5 million and under defenders. When we have now, it's it's February, March. Our budgets are all 104, whatever. Do you fit these players in your team? I don't know. I wouldn't.
Right.
But I could see the punt, but I don't think it's like good or advisable.
Yeah, I like Target. I actually do. Yeah, he's putting up some like creative numbers. He's also taking corners now, with the trips out and stuff like that. And maybe St. Max will change that, but I don't think St. Max takes corners off the top of my head. So
I don't think
he's just doing a lot of stuff. So I think it's like, even if it's 1 clean, 1 assist in these 4 games, like that's amazing.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's great. So
And they still aren't playing this new guy. I don't know what the fuck.
They played him
for
he
50
came
mil and
on.
he just,
Yeah, he came on at the end of the Brentford game and apparently looked good, but I don't know.
Against 10 men
Against
last
10
20 minutes
men,
against
Brentford.
Brentford. Yeah, tell me more about how that performance was.
So I don't know.
It's weird. I mean, I don't know what the deal is. I don't really pay attention to Newcastle that closely, like in their beat, but the fact that they break the bank and then he comes in and plays literally 1 minute, 2 minutes, like what is that about?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
That's like, is he hazing him or something?
I guess it's probably just the case of like 7 unbeaten. He's like, Joe Linton's undroppable in midfield.
Yeah, but what are you doing? What are you doing subbing the player in 3 games in a row for 1 and 2 minutes? Isn't that like disrespectful?
Yeah.
For the last minute. I mean, you're basically just using him as a decoy to waste time for 30 seconds to do a sub and stoppage time. That's what
exactly
you're doing. That's insane.
Yeah. That's a bad job by them.
That's how Edward does things, I guess.
Yeah, that's just how Edward goes. But let's go to Wolves. You mentioned Wolves. So, another doubling team. They're home Palace, home Watford, and then they have a nice run. They're at Everton, home Leeds, home Villa, at Newcastle. I'm
nervous to talk about. Well, I don't want to shoo away our Wolf fan listeners.
Well,
you know how I get going on
It's going to happen because, so GG Kale said, has double Wolves become too much given the recent results? And then Ozzy, thoughts on Wolves defense? The great double this week. They've only kept 1 clean in the past 7, which I have not realized. Like, I know, like, they've been on TV a lot lately,
Brighton.
And
they turned into Brighton.
Yeah, they've been on TV a lot lately, and they've been bad every single time I've watched them, but I didn't realize it was 1 and 7. And in my head, I'm just like, Saw's just like picking up points every week, whatever. But they've been absolute garbage.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on Wolves?
Yeah, they're a trap.
Yeah.
They trapped us all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're watching right now. They are a mess. They have no balance. They look terrible. They've been getting away with these points on the board for, really all season. They just don't really do any. The games just like happen when I watch a Wolves. They just like the ball's out of bounds. They don't create anything. They block shit. They fucking do. I don't know what the fuck they do.
Yeah.
They never look like they never look in control, but they're always in complete control. And it's always nil-nil, like 0-0 at half, like someone will maybe score a goal. Like that's it, but they play with, 2-ish attackers every game. And the midfield is just, they just have no creativity whatsoever. And now, I'm not the biggest fan of the manager. I've been kind of on him. I don't hate him. I just don't like him.
Oh, okay.
I feel like he's been getting, I know that they're in a good position in the table, but again, I do really feel like it's in spite of him and not because of the performances. It's just like they've just been getting away with these kind of turgid affairs and, coming out on the right bounce of the ball or getting, that set piece goal at the right time in the game, but they don't go into mid-table or lower half teams and just like beat them. Like that doesn't happen. You don't watch Wolves playing like, oh yeah, Wolves beat the shit out of their Wolves were a way better team. That just doesn't happen,
Yeah, it happened once recently, I feel like. Southampton game 3-1, like they dominated that game, but none of the other results.
But even that game was very unusual. Like the goals were very weird. Like they were on set pieces. Like they were on like broken set pieces. They weren't like
I don't remember
clean created chance goals. They were weird as fuck goals. It
was a Jim Penn, a Cody goal, and then a Dama goal in the 91st minute.
Yeah, so that's that's a 3-1, right? But that's how they do, and it's.
Yeah.
It's insane, and they haven't scored any goals all fucking season. If they score 1 goal, they don't win 1-0, they don't win the game. So.
Yeah, XG differential is a stat that's like a pretty good indicator of like where a team's at, just the quality of the team, how they do week to week in their games. Wolves are negative 11.1 in the season. That's one better than That's one better than Burnley.
Good.
It's 6th worst in the league. I think I agree with everything you said, and I think the one thing that you didn't mention is that Saw is just having like an Emmy year. Like Saw is just like their defensive numbers haven't been good all season. Underlying,
if they had Alex McCarthy in goal, they'd be in 16th.
They'd be in like relegation fight because they
don't score.
They don't score.
They don't score any goals.
And their underlying defensive numbers aren't good. It's just Sa has just bailed them out, and he's just having like a freak insane year. And maybe he's just the best keeper in the world. Who knows? But probably not. And what we've seen lately, probably not. And what we've been seeing lately is, just regression to basically the mean, where he's probably more likely at.
And the manager, I mean, last time they won a game, right? Spurs 2-0. Easy game. Kundal started. Are you kidding me?
Only
Drop
start.
Kundal.
Only start.
Lose the midfield battle in all 3 games. I mean, he's like, oh yeah, let's play fucking Marsal again at left wing back. Yeah, that's great. A lot of creativity there when he has to put fucking Hoover on the other side with idiot injured now Semedo. I mean, it's just, he plays fucking Dendonker and Neves in a 2. It's like, what are you doing? What do you expect to happen? Like, do you expect to win the game when you do this? You fucking play 3 backups in the front 3 in a 3-4-3 with Dendonker, and it's like, you should lose the fuck out of that game. You should absolutely lose that game every single time.
Are still good. Like they still have a lot of good players, West Ham. So
I mean, it's just their season's crumbling right now, and it should be crumbling because they haven't really played good football all season. So
they're just.
I'm glad it's happening.
Yeah, you're not a fan.
No, I mean it's so negative. It's a continuation of what we've been seeing for years. It's like it's just you're not going to get that far here. I mean, Bowley doesn't play ever. I mean, he's their best center back.
Yeah,
Kilman, but next to Kilman.
I don't want to Wolves pod this, but that's my frustration with Lodge or Lodge, whatever. Is like they started the season playing very, very differently to Nuno, and they were super attacking, and the results just didn't go their way, and the finishing just didn't go his way. Like everyone was cold, and no one could finish.
Yeah, those first 4 game weeks, they were creating all at will.
Jim,
it was just Jim missing sitters.
Like people were actually bringing Adama into their team. Like they're obviously idiots, but like the fact that anyone was even considering that is insane.
People bring Ross Barkley in every season too. So
true, and Christian Pulisic, which maybe we'll get to later. But okay, but and then he just kind of like turtled. I feel like and was just like, okay, I just need to. Did that. So
it's like, I'm nervous. We might never score a goal, and we have no points. So we have to do this thing that they've been doing for the last 4 years. So I'm going to play the same formation, same system, not attack, not create, try and grind out results.
So
and
I
they've
still
been
have
doing
belief, and because I saw those flashes, and I think there are a lot of things he does better than like a Nuno, for example, with just like even in the defensive style with the high press and stuff. But that'll all happen potentially next year, not this year. With new personnel and stuff, and like no more, like you said, like no more laundering 50 million for Fabio Silva, like ridiculous. They need actual players.
They need a lot of new players.
They need
like 6 new players in their 11. They probably have 5 players that should stay in their 11 next season if they want to be better than what we're seeing, which is a 9th place team.
I mean, mostly it's like one midfielder and then their attack, I think. But like the defense is fine. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's fine.
But I think it's fine if you want to finish 9th. I mean, Semedo's not good enough. Yep. Kilman's good. I don't know if
Saiz is good.
I don't think Saiz is good. I don't think they should be playing in a 3 anymore. I don't think that. I think they need to switch to a back 4, and I think they need to just get some better attackers in there. I feel like with
attack
Neves,
is the big problem. Like Neves is 30 or turning 31.
That's Moutinho.
Bad.
Moutinho.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at Jim. Yeah, and then Moutinho's old. Neves is great, I think. Really good.
Neves is and Kundal are the only players in attack who should stay. Do you understand?
Kundal. I
Kundal's
don't.
Good.
I know.
He's actually good.
He's 1 for 1 in terms of good performances. So that's 100% last time I checked.
Neto, Neves, Kundal are the only players that should be starting game week 1 next year in the attack. Kilman.
Oh, yeah.
Sa.
Kilman, Sa.
Eight Nuri. They need to figure out who can play in a 2 with Kilman. I think they need to switch. They need to switch to a back 4. I think they need to get a right back.
You know what it's going to be?
Semeto's so bad.
You know what it's going to be? It's going to be Johnny right back, Nuri left back.
Hate that. Absolutely
Johnny's right-footed.
I don't care. He's old and fucking.
He's not
lost
old.
The step.
He's 27. He hasn't played yet. We don't know that he's lost the step yet. He's good. He's good.
Okay.
Johnny's actually good. Yeah, that's the solution.
Maybe that's a thing.
We need Tim Spears on here. Fireside
I thought he
chat.
was like 34.
No, Johnny's fit.
He just tears his ACL every year.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Basically hasn't played in a million years.
But in FPL standpoint, I mean, like I brought Kilman in a couple of weeks ago or whatever for these doubles, and she just gets 2 points every week. I mean, I absolutely love him. I think he's such a Rolls Royce player. I think he's unbelievable.
He's really, really good, and we saw that last season.
Yeah, and he would never play him. He would never play him.
Yeah, no.
He kept dropping him.
That was a big problem with last season.
I mean, they double home Palace, home Watford. They should keep it clean. I mean, we're not great shakes at scoring on the road.
You still start Saw and any Wolves defender for honestly the next 5 game weeks without a shadow of a doubt.
So I don't agree with that. I think that this double is make or break, because I think if they don't get it together and put a couple good performances together. So, I mean, one thing too, I mean, watching the West Ham game, they should have conceded 3 or so. You know, I mean, they were just, it was ridiculous. They were letting up chances all fucking game.
This is just a working theory. I don't have anything to support it, but I feel like more than most, maybe any other team in the league, they're affected by game state. Like, so when they go
down, if it's 0-0 or whatever.
Yeah, when they go down, like we saw against West Ham, they actually push out and really try and attack, and they conceded chances at will. But like before they were down, West Ham weren't getting anything.
Yeah, they had a couple half chance. I mean, a
couple, but none of the big ones were, until late.
I don't know. I mean, I was seeing a lot of mistakes. Like I was going insane on Cody in Discord. I remember watching him play. I thought he was fucking insanely bad. But regardless of this, I think, based on how they've been playing lately, home Palace, home Watford, I mean, they need to at least keep it clean and concede 1 and look better for me to want to keep playing them, because I think it comes to a point in the season, like right now, we're getting into game week 29, where it's like, I don't think you can really rely too much. You can rely so heavily on just like, oh, well, the fixtures are good. Like, I'm going to keep playing them. I think you have to grab the bull by the dick. And if they keep looking bad, just rolling out bad, you're like putting bad money after good is like, just because the fixtures are good doesn't mean the team's playing fucking bad. So when do we have to react to that? We have to.
No, I was just going to say, like, I'm not sure if I'm going to wildcard or not this week. I haven't really thought that much about it, but everyone's on like triple or double Wolves, on like wildcard and shit like that with the double and the good fixtures. And in my head, I was like, I would have no Wolves. I can't think of one person that I would have. Like, legit.
Maybe Saw. I mean, maybe you have like, Saw in the
start with Saw, and then I'm like, I'd rather have Dubravka. Like, no question. He has another double. Like, I'm just like.
Well, I think Saw and Dubravka. Like, I think you could have Saw with someone else, something
maybe
like
set
that.
Up a bench boost or something.
Yeah, but for an outfield player, it would be nowhere near any of those players.
No one.
Absolutely not.
Nowhere.
Absolutely not.
Let's talk about aforementioned Chelsea. So they're really interesting because if they beat Luton or Norwich beat Liverpool, then they're going to have a double this game week. But as of now, they have no double. But even without the double
would be Burnley, Norwich,
which is 2 bad teams. It would be at Burnley, at Norwich. Even without the Norwich double, their fixtures are unbelievable upcoming. It's at Burnley, home Newcastle, at Norwich, which again would be the fixture that's moved. Home Brentford, at Southampton, at Leeds. So a lot of people, wildcarding, etc. this week are loading up on Chelsea guys. So we got a lot of questions on that. So Johnny D said, thoughts on Chelsea with the likely double this week and a good fixture run? Is it only the defense plus Mount worth considering? GG Kale, is it too early to jump on Reese? Andy Hall, looking for a defender. He said, what are your thoughts on Aspil, Thiago Silva, Rudiger? And for my keeper, convince me why Mendy isn't the best choice. And then Do It, also wondering about which defender. He said, Silva's the cheapest of all of them. Seems like a great option. So,
what do you see there, man?
Again, I just feel so weird about Chelsea in general, where I'm just like, I don't remember the last game they played. Like, I know they played 2 game weeks ago, but then before that, they didn't play for years. And I'm just like, what? They
played yesterday.
They played in the cup final, but I just haven't seen them play Premier League FPL games to like none of their players have been remotely on my mind for FPL in a long time. So I still feel weirded out. Yeah, I mean, Mount is still having like a borderline superstar season in terms of his numbers. And it seems very obvious with Tommy Tuchel, it's obviously risky to assume rational, logical things, but it seems clear to me that Mount is in all of their best 11s, whether he's in midfield or he's on the left or he's on the right. Like, it doesn't matter. He's part of it. So I do think Mount is an interesting one. Reece obviously has attacking potential. I don't really rate him or like him, and I don't really think he'll start at double. He just came back from injury. The only reason he played or subbed on, I think, was because Aspil went down hurt. So, I don't know what to make of that. Maybe Cho gets a start at right wing back or something like that, and he plays the other one. But yeah, I mean, Rudiger is just the most obvious thing ever, right? Like, Rudiger is just the nailed in every wildcard team.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, totally agree with that. I think it is I think maybe the first or second question type. I mean, Mount is, I think, the only attacking option, from a non-defender, non-goalkeeper position in the FPL that you could look at. 7.5, fine. He's fine.
Good pick. But it's a good pick.
Yeah, I mean, Rudiger definitely seems like it's back. He's back on the menu. I do think Reece is a really good pick still. I mean, we obviously had that little month where it was he was getting 0 points for fun, but he's still, basically a winger. I mean, he is. So, I mean, he's also, I think, a really good pick. And yeah, I mean, I think Tilv is fine. He's 5'6". He also, struggles to play, every 3 days.
That's what I'm like. I'm not sure if he even plays a double, but
I think
he does score goals.
No, occasionally. But I think it's still, you have a bench. I mean, I think it's the end of the season. There isn't it's not Boxing Day shit anymore where we're getting this mess, and we have our team values high and shit. I think he's a good pick, and if he does miss a game, whatever, then hopefully your bench guy comes in. But I mean, they should keep a lot of cleans. I mean, we know that they don't really score a lot of goals. They haven't done for a long time now. But yeah, I think the defense is really good, and I think Mendy is also. He's 6'1", he's really expensive, but they should keep a lot of cleans. I mean, they don't play Liverpool or City again. I mean, they should keep a lot of cleans till the end of the season. So, any of 1, 2, or 3 defenders, including Mendy there, totally fine with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree. All the other attackers, literally all of them, are interesting, and none of them are nailed. So you hate to see that. And you just don't go there, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I they're more, I think, interesting in a romanticist standpoint than a practical standpoint, because we have not seen this team play cohesive, attacking, good football.
They only do
this
that
year.
They only do that against top teams when they're countering and shit. Like the Liverpool game, they created clear-cut chances, multiple and offside goals and all that shit. And then you look at the fixtures and everyone's like, oh my God, Newcastle, Norwich, Brentford, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I don't know. They could score 1 goal or 0 goals in any of those. And I'd be like, that's
no surprise.
That's Chelsea.
Yeah. So defense, good.
Yeah.
Everything else, meh. Mount, fine, I guess. I don't know. Mount still doesn't excite me very much.
Yeah. No, he definitely doesn't excite me, but I do think he's a good pick.
Yeah, I agree. He could be an interesting one to go off of. Maybe Bowen might be swan songing. I don't know.
Yeah, what do you think about Bowen? I mean, we could just talk about him because that was Micro's question. He said, is it time to say bye-bye to Bowen? I think a lot of people are in that sitch where, obviously didn't do shit against Wolves. I mean, he had a big chance against Wolves. He didn't score. And then they're at Liverpool, home Villa, at Spurs. So not a great run and obviously no doubles. So I think a lot of people are looking to move.
Yeah, I think this is the exact best imaginable time to get rid.
Yeah.
West Ham have not played well for, since the fall.
Very long time.
He's been just kind of getting away with it. I mean, they do create a few good counter-attacking chances per game. We watch them do that. But in general, they're just kind of like a mess, and they just have all their fucking players in their own half, no matter who they're playing against.
And their games are 40 minutes long, I feel like.
Yeah. The ball's out of bounds. It's a dead ball fucking whole game.
Yeah.
Liverpool, Spurs, Chelsea, City all on the menu, no double. There's not much joy to be had there. I think it is, this is going to be the kind of thing that I think you'll look back on your season and be like, wow, when I got rid of Bowen, like that was huge, kind of a thing. Versus if you hold on, you're like, oh, but then they have Villa, like that's not such a bad fixture. And then
you get trapped
Spurs
into
isn't so
holding
good,
him
but
forever.
and then they have Everton at home, that's not so bad. Like then Brentham away, like Burnley. When in reality, like this is a fucking murderer's row run of fixtures. It just is,
and they have literally nothing to play for. I mean, they're playing for like conference league.
They're playing for conference league. I mean, that's the thing, right? They have nothing to play for, and these are really, really bad fixtures for them. So, I think it's a very good time to get rid of Bowen.
Yeah, no, and I really, have grown to like the player this season. Like he's really fucking good, and I don't know. It just.
The volume is just not there, I mean, it's that's the thing, the volume's not there. It's been another purple patch. I mean, he's got a lot of assists to keep it ticking along.
Yeah, the corners
and the set pieces
stuff.
will help. Yeah, the set pieces will help because they're obviously a good set piece team. But I mean, I do feel like it's going to dry up. I mean, I don't think he's going to just this is the pace that he's going to continue on. Like I don't feel that way at all. I feel like he is more of a 1 in 3 player on this team, and they do have some more difficult fixtures to finish the season up. I think
so. And it's like I have like 0.5 value in him. He's gone up a bit, but he's gonna go down, I'm sure, in this run. And then our tune might change when it's game week 31 and we're reevaluating FPL, and you get him in for home Everton, at Brentham, home Burnley, and it's good, and you just get him back, and you didn't lose that much. And so I still like it from that perspective too.
Yeah. But no double's a big deal too. I mean, you can't not consider that, because
it is.
Any player that you get in for him will have 2 more games.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that, you make this transfer, you can't touch that spot again. But even if it's for a short term, you could be turning Bowen into 4 more games. Like if you're rotating that spot for doubles, this double or this week, double next week, double, so. Yeah, I mean, it seems like Bowen's a really like a free spot right now.
Yeah, there's 5 teams with no doubles. It's Brentham, Palace, West Ham, and both Manchester clubs.
Yeah.
So that's worth considering. I think a lot of people will be getting rid of, Bruno, Ronaldo, whoever the fuck they punted on in defense, right now too, with the bad fixtures.
Totally.
So, and I think they should. And then Man City may be a good place to go too with no doubles. They had the tough one against Everton. Yeah, Micro said
really tough one right now.
All right, time to say nah to the City mids. Chester said, "What's Kev's deal?" Aka said, "Foden, do we keep or sell for a midfielder as a double?" And then Gilfy said, "Advice for those who bought Mars for his mega haul against Everton last weekend: is he an instant sell given he's not nailed? LOL, fuck me, I should have known." And he has no doubles. Yeah, I mean, it's way easier to get these guys on free hit. I know from experience.
Yeah.
And then just be like, I want nothing to do with that. Foden has been kind of quiet for a bunch of games like before this. He was getting shot. I think we talked about it even last pod. He was like getting shots, but like didn't really look the same. I thought he was really good against Everton. I thought he was like probably their best player. Even before the sort of lucky goal. I mean, they're still City. I mean, I still expect them to clean and win literally every game. They have one hard game, and it's game week 32.
I didn't like Foden's like jackknifery. I felt like he was fucking every 15 minutes he was playing a different position. Yeah, I mean that's maybe more Pep than Foden. I mean, I hate when Bill is in the front three. I think it fucks everything up. Like and again, that's Gundo. I will die on this. I think they are so much worse with Gundo on the team.
Yeah, you really don't like him, but
I really don't like him.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a tough one. I mean, I wouldn't get rid of Cancelo. I wouldn't get rid of a second City defender if you have one, whether it's Diaz, Laporte, Walker, whatever.
Well, Walker, I think you could probably not keep. He's just not playing.
Yeah. Well, he started 2 in a row and then missed 1.
He played fucking John Stones at right back instead of Walker, who's played like 2 games in the last month.
That's not great.
It's not good. Yeah.
No one has Walker except you anyway, but
I don't have him anymore.
Yeah, keep Diaz, keep Laporte, like that's fine.
Yeah.
It's team to
Foden's
team
still
a
playing
bit.
though.
I still like Foden. I still like Kev, and Raz is playing. If Raz starts every game for most of the games,
no, but Jesus and Jack were back. I mean, I think that's back. We're back to that's a big worry. I think.
Yeah. What about Kev though? Because he's not at risk like those guys are, and he was pretty quiet. And
I think it's just don't buy, don't sell.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's so weird to be in a position where like it feels kind of bad with City guys.
Yeah, well, I agree with you that I still expect them to like clean and win all their games, but they haven't been creating, and scoring. I mean, when was the last time they really put something? I mean, they did the Norwich recently, but that was like a really bizarre game.
Yeah.
But before that, I mean, they hadn't scored more than 2 goals since game week 19.
Is that right?
So since game week 19, they've only had 1 game with more than 2 goals in the last, what is that? It's like 8 games.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, we're not used to that.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just not used to that. And, I do feel like a lot of it is like you mentioned game state earlier, right? I mean, they do just, they get their goal and they just fucking chill.
Shut it down.
They just win and chill. And it's just like, okay. So, I still feel like, you're okay if you have a Foden or a Kevin but having 2 defenders is great. Like you have Laporte and Cancelo. I mean, Cancelo should be in every team and he is in every team.
Yeah.
But, you add Diaz or Laporte there, even though they don't have doubles, I feel like you're still in good shape there because they're going to clean like 70% of the rest of their games.
That's the thing.
So.
Yeah, and no other team other than like Liverpool, maybe Chelsea can even come close to that. So even though they don't have as many fixtures as fucking Leicester, Arsenal, Everton, Burnley, Spurs, like it doesn't matter.
They do more with them.
Yeah, they do more with them. Yeah, so that's kind of City, I guess.
Yeah, Mahrez. Yeah, I mean, that's just a really feels bad moment, but
it sucks.
Again, I mean, this is something we talked about, I think, like 3 or 4 game weeks ago when we thought that their front was healthy, which they now actually are, except for Cole Palmer, RIP, great player, but. Who's going to play? They have so many guys for those wing spots, and he does, which is why I do like Foden still because he seems to be the only player he trusts playing centrally.
Yeah,
and so I mean I think Foden and Kev are the most surefire bets, but otherwise, you're risking a roll of the dice. I think from the start standpoint.
It's just so much easier to stomach Foden 7-9 when we're moving to everyone needs to get Mo back, Jota's back, fucking Son, Kane are popping off, like whatever it is, Chelsea guys, so your squad gets pretty expensive pretty soon, depending who you bring in.
But once Gundo gets dropped, Kevin will be good again.
I can't wait for that to happen. A couple more double questions. Tuna and Rice said, who are the best picks for the wild card this week? Just straight up some picks, I guess, I just disagree with the premise of the question because if you're wild carding, it's not just for this week, and that's a bad way to look at the game. Like, I wouldn't just get guys who are doubling this week because they're doubling this week, because then you're going to have to hold your Wolves and Watford and fucking Villa guys or whatever. And, you don't really want to do that.
What do you think about Villa? Because, I mean, Villa have a double there. Villa. They're home Southampton at Leeds.
Insane double.
Yeah, and then they have at West Ham, home Arsenal, at Wolves, home Spurs, home Liverpool.
So they basically have a fucking nightmare run after a really good double.
They won a game.
Yeah, they finally won a game. I mean, they beat Brighton. Fixtures-wise, I mean, the Southampton Leeds are pretty tough teams to clean. They're going to be like tough, high press, high paced games. So, I like those more as attacking fixtures than defensive fixtures. But then I don't really want any of their players outside of like Ramsey and maybe a rogue. Like if you already own Dean, you can hold them and feel okay for West Ham, Arsenal, Wolves. It's not like that bad.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, other than Ramsey, outside of this week, I don't want any of them. So
yeah, I agree.
I'm sure everyone's going to be bringing Coutinho. I'm sure he's going to be like high on the cap poll, and maybe people are going to bring in Ollie because he scored this week or something. But like, I don't feel good about any of them.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
What about Southampton? So I mean, they're
fucking flying.
At Villa, home Newcastle, they seem to win every game.
They're just like good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fun that they're good because for so many years we've been saying like Ralph is doing this shit with like the worst fucking squad, and then like they got some fullbacks who can play, they got Broya, they got some guys, and like they're fucking like pretty good and doing a lot of stuff. Fixtures wise, they have, what are they, at Villa, home Newcastle double.
Yeah,
really good, and then they have home Watford, at Burnley, at Leeds, so they have a nice run afterwards.
Which is important.
Very important.
I mean, talk about yin and yang to Villa, where they have bad fixture. I mean, you can have the Southampton players for the double, which is pretty good on paper, and then have a few good fixtures afterwards, which gives you a buffer of time to figure out what to do with them.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone went Broya on their free hit. A lot of people just have him already. He was really bad, unfortunately.
I didn't watch that game, but
he was just absolutely awful. Like, everything he tried just didn't come off. And Che has been ridiculously on fire. I think, if you're like wildcarding in, I think I would definitely go Che over Broya. Yeah. That just seems obvious to me. Otherwise, I mean, the fullbacks, I'm scared because I feel like they're going to get rotated. But KWP seems to be he's comfortable playing him either side, and he's been really good lately. So, that's really good. Liver has been playing well, and he's still the cheapest, so that's really good. But I'm definitely scared of rotation with like Perot and shit. But yeah, I would for sure go Che. I mean, I don't think there's many other better picks for the next 4 game weeks than Che.
Yeah, Che, I agree. I mean, he's been banging him in. I'm less concerned than you, I think, about the rotation of fullback.
You think it's just Livra, KWP?
Yeah, I mean, well, so you're thinking, I mean, Perot was just injured, I guess, right? And then
he had COVID, and now he's back.
He had COVID. He had riddled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. I mean, it is a little bit annoying because they're all three have been really good.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, so I guess that is a tough one. So you think maybe Salisu or just go with Bednarek just for the security of start?
Yeah, I mean, I think KWP is like a little safer than Livra just because he can play both sides.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I mean, you just look at like, so they have Villa, Newcastle, Watford. Like they have a decent amount of rest between Villa and Newcastle. They have like 4 days, but then they have 2 days off between Newcastle and Watford. Like, you're probably going to see rotation there, I would assume.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, I mean, Forster's playing really well. Pong is back. Salisu's good and nailed. Bednarek's getting his head on like a ton of the set pieces and stuff. Like, I don't hate Bed either. He'll get an attack in return before the season's over.
He's such a bad player.
Yeah. I don't know. Everyone looks good next to Salisu,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Bednarek will get an attack in return before the season's over, no doubt. I mean, he has 3 goals already. But yeah,
I mean, he's not like Trincao or something. He's like, it's nothing.
But yeah, Southampton are good. I mean, yeah, I think. I
still think Broya is a good pick. 5.5.
Yeah,
still cheap as fuck.
I know.
He's playing.
Yeah,
I mean, he low key doesn't have too many returns lately. He's got 3 blanks in a row, but I still just feel like he's a fucking class player. I love him.
Yeah, he's a good player. I wouldn't go near selling him. I'm just not positive I'd buy him, just because, like, again, if anyone's gonna get rotated, like, he's played 2 pretty bad games in a row. Like, maybe you give fucking Schlong or AA a run out or something.
He still does something that no one else can do.
Yes,
I mean,
he still provides IRL value even when he's not good for FPL. I agree.
I feel like it's, in general, I'm like with Southampton, I mean, none of their players have like 1 billion minutes in their legs. I mean, they've all had these little periods of the season where they've missed game time.
Yeah,
I feel like he's going to play their
just like
best team every game for I mean, they can play on 3 days. I mean, these are still professionals. Like, it's not like these are players that are dead tired needing to be rotated because they play 40 games already. Yeah. So I do think that, he should, like, Adams and Broya should just start every game. If they're fit, they should start every single league game for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think they're both
very
fair.
fair.
Both good. But, yeah, okay.
People could go both of them on wildcard. I mean,
I'm looking at doing that.
Yeah, I haven't with my transfers wildcard, but like that seems reasonable in my head.
I'm looking at doing Rodrigo and Dennis to Che and like a piece of shit.
Love that. I love pieces of shit. I eat pieces of shit for breakfast. D-Beck said the doubling teams would feel a bit meh.
What is that, Billy Madison?
Yeah. No, it's I think it's Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
It's like the like villain golf guy. It's like, I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. And he's just like, you eat pieces of shit for breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got questions about wildcarding this week, which yeah, we got 4 questions on that too, which is the last like major topic. But Genie Kill said, who's a priority on wildcard this week? Whatever. D Silva said, I'm wildcarding. Explain to me like I'm 5 years old. What should I do and what do I need to think about? In return, I'll go back, listen to postmortem and pre-cog pods. We can meet in the middle. I'm available for Friday My Life should you need me. Thank you. Hemdog said, for the motherfuckers that binned Mo due to his blank, should we move him straight back in 1 week ahead of his double game week or take a chance on some mad doubling mid this week? And then Hemdog again, he said, any defenders were starting over the likes of Robbo, Laporte, etc. for the double. So, or doubles, I guess.
God, could you imagine not have triple capping Mo and he got fucking 80 points?
I mean, everyone I know did.
Yeah, me too.
I did not include EB's question, which was like something along the lines of like, Walsh, how did you deal with life after the Ramsdale cap? I was like, no, that's not good. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
So what do you think wildcard? I mean, who are the names that you're looking at shortlisting?
Well, let's just see who's doubling this week. So who are you getting from Wolves? Probably no one.
Maybe Sa.
Who are you getting from Leeds?
No one.
Maybe Raf, but probably no one.
No, absolutely not.
But I think Raf is a maybe.
I don't think it's
if Sa's a maybe, Raf's a maybe. Who are you getting from Watford?
No one.
Probably no. Yeah, Foster. Actually,
bench.
Foster nailed. And then
Foster for the bench.
Possibly, like depending on team value and whatnot and how expensive the squad ends up being. Like Dennis would be a great backup forward also.
He's expensive though.
Yeah, he's 6'1", but I don't know. Late season, starting for the double, bench him. I don't know. Who are you getting from Newcastle? Willock.
I think Willock would make it.
I think I'd go Willock and target potential.
Maybe a defender.
And Dubravka.
I would have to see.
I think I would actually triple on wildcard probably.
Oh my goodness, I would definitely not do that. I would probably do
double for a keeper. I just can't resist.
I would probably only do Willock.
Okay. Villains, Ramsey.
Ramsey is a definite. I think from just
nailed.
a money standpoint that you want him to be your 5th.
Yeah.
And then it's probably it.
I think it would only be Ramsey, and then the other doubling team, Southampton, we just talked about. So there's not that many obvious
Chelsea
picks. And then there's Chelsea, who are probably going to double, but not doubling yet, but they have good fixtures anyway. So we talked about Mount, we talked about Rudiger, and then maybe a third, maybe a Mendy or Silva or Reese. Yeah, and then there's the double game week in 29, which we haven't even discussed, but we're already fucking an hour into the podcast. How deep are we gonna go on
we're not talking about
making other people's wildcard teams. Yeah,
I think I feel like this is like one of the most unusual double game weeks that we've ever had, in that there are so many teams that are doubling, but there's so few good picks.
Yes,
like I feel like there's so many just trap picks that you're gonna get. They get 4 points, 3 points, and then you look at your team, you're like, wow, I have these 4 players.
Why the
fuck
are they
ass
in my team?
Yeah. So I still feel like it's just as good a week to wildcard as any if your team is in disrepair and needs attention. But I don't think I would be jamming in all these double game weekers in my team at all. I would probably have like 5 at the most or so.
Yeah, I mean, everyone and they would be your cheap, talked about. Yeah.
Yeah, like they would be the cheaper players. I still think, you have 3 Liverpool players. You have 2, maybe 3 City players. You have 2 Chelsea defenders. Like, these are the best teams. These are the meat and potatoes of the game. And there's 10 game weeks to go. So I don't think, you really do just pile in on bad picks on mediocre to bad teams. I think you have to be a little bit more measured and cautious than that and look at it at the long term, so.
Yeah, and we didn't even mention like Kane's son, like they're in the mix too, so there's, I agree with you though, wholeheartedly. And I guess that's the most important thing to answer sort of all the questions is like, look at the doubles and look at the doubles next week. But like make your team good before you just load up on bad picks is really the bottom line.
Yeah, and I mean, like Arsenal doubled, and they have 2 games in hand, so they have 3 to go. You know, like you mentioned, right? Spurs are one of the 29 doublers, and they have another game in hand.
Yep.
Liverpool double in 29. So I think you gotta really, if you're wildcarding right now, don't get too blinded by the double game week in 28, because I think that's probably the most surefire way to not do well in 28 and really fuck your team up and be trying to like hit for the rest of the season to catch up.
Yes.
So I think you should almost like throw out the 28 doubles and just look at like, okay, well, what do I want for 29? What do I want for 30? And really do it that way.
I think I would, so we haven't even mentioned 30, but apparently the FA Cup this week will decide who's blanking in 30. So that'll be another thing for Thursday. But what I was going to also say is, like, I think because it's so hard later in the season when you're not on wildcard, if you're wildcarding this week, to get an actual playing bench and a doubling keeper, it's kind of like random if you even get that. I think I actually would probably focus more on next week's double than this week's double if I was wildcarding, and I would want my bench guys to be doubling next week and set up a bench boost.
Yeah, I think that's genius.
Yeah, so if I wildcard, I'll probably do that.
Okay, yeah.
Just a few other questions. TJC said, is Jota worth keeping if you still have him? Cam Anderson said, Diaz looks great for Liverpool. Does him and Bobby push Jota into Mara's camp of great for points but too much rotation risk? No, I mean, I think Jota's a great pick. I don't know. How do you feel about Jota?
Yeah, I think it's fun.
Yeah, good pick. Micro, and then the last question was Micro. He said, Zaha listens to the pod / Walsh confirmed. But I don't know what he means.
I don't know what that means. But Will, in fairness to him, the last couple games, actually good.
He destroyed Burnley.
Yeah, and Watford too.
Oh my god.
Best games he's played all season, or like I think the last 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Great.
Good job by him.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That was a lot, dude. That was like a dense, thick pod.
Dense. A dense thicket of forestry.
Let's talk about our teams briefly, I guess. Right. So what are you looking at? Are you looking at that double move for Che?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I need to see what happens with the Chelsea shit. I mean, I might get wild and do some crazy shit, but I definitely am not enjoying having the Kilman and the Dean. Dean has been, I'm like trapped with Dean this week, I think, but I want to make him and Kilman into Chelsea defenders like as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So I don't think the timing really works out for me to do that now, but I haven't really planned or looked at it too closely about it, where, I mean, that's a lot of money I'd have to free up, I think, to do that. So
yeah. And you don't have wildcard for people who don't realize.
Yeah. So, Rodrigo, Bruno, I mean, Bruno's tough. I've right now I have him on my bench.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's a bad pick. Yeah.
I mean, I think he's a bad pick, but he's also like, I mean, he's probably my money for the Chelsea defender. So I'll probably do something with him soon. And doing Dennis, I just like don't like having Dennis. So I don't know. I have things to do, but I think we'll do more of that on Thursday. I haven't really looked at it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that's same-ish with my team, and the blanks will change stuff. I mean, my 11 is good except for Bowen and Bruno. So if I don't wildcard, I was thinking I could do like Bowen to Mount, Bruno to Son. I can afford that, and that just seems incredible.
For a hit.
Yeah, for a hit. Yeah. So that would be, Mount doubling, Son doubling next week, good fixtures for Spurs.
Yeah. I think you're getting into the dangerous category this season of, if not now, when are you in a wild card? Like,
yeah, I mean it would be, I think if it's not now, my other options would be like 31, which would be after the blank, or it'd be late season into a bench boost, like classic style.
I think you definitely should not do that.
Why?
I think you just lose so much value the later you do the wild card, that you just have less game weeks where you can have that like be what you're doing. I mean, like,
yeah.
I think
that's the old school way, but maybe it's old school for a reason. So
no, but I think you're getting into the sweet spot of like doing it around like 30 is a really good position where you can dead end the end of, that's enough where you don't have to like worry about crazy shit that you can't think of. Where you can use the wild card and set it up to be like, okay, target this, like these couple spots I can fuck around with here, and you're good, and that's the end of the season.
Yeah. So it's tempting to do it this week, but then I just look at my 11 and I'm like, I'm triple at Arsenal at the back. They have Watford. I still have Cancelo, Trent. I still have Mo. I have Ramsey doubling. I have Dennis doubling. I have Kane. Like, all of those picks are fucking great this week.
Yeah. And you have the double for, I mean, it's annoying. Arsenal is tough for you. I mean, not cleaning either was insane. And then now they have Watford, and then they have the double, which is not that good. They have the Leicester, Liverpool in 29.
Home Leicester, home Liverpool, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they should still keep.
I don't know if they'll keep it clean than that.
They might not keep it clean, yeah.
They'll
I think
probably get a red card more likely than a clean than that.
That's going to be a gut check, because that's going to probably, if you're like, okay, this is going to be at like 3 points, maybe 2, maybe that's not even a double, then maybe you do wild card 29. Maybe. I don't think now, though. You do look okay.
Yeah, I look okay. I mean, if I look at just who's doubling in 29, I have 3 Arsenal. I have Bob the Monster, but he won't play. I don't have any Everton. I have double Liverpool, and I have Kane. And if I did those transfers, I'd have Kane and Son. So my team would be stacked for 29 also. At least in terms of quantity of doublers, even though it's not like the best fixture. So
yeah.
Maybe I'm just gonna not wildcard. Probably free hit in 30, assuming there's gonna be a ton of blanks. Wildcard in 31.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. Let me slap an ass. We got one new sign up. He asked a bunch of questions today. Good job by you, GG Kale. It's Gabrielle Corbin Artson. Slipped an ass. Get in there. Thanks for signing up. That's it, brother. Any last words?
I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, bro. Check us out at FMLfield.com. Follow us on Twitter and FMLfield Sports Patreon.com/FMLfield. Subscribe, rate, review. Cheers!